Well, hello again, everybody.
Amen.
We want to welcome you to this 2024 Black History Program, honoring the past, inspiring the future. And this is important. It's important for us to honor and to understand some of the things that have happened in our history. Um, a lot of times when we talk about history holistically, a lot of these things are kind of briefly mentioned or even left out. So it's important to help us to understand where we came from.
Right.
And knowing where you came from helps you to know where you're going.
Right.
But we appreciate Sister Adriana putting this together.
Amen.
If you ever put together any program or anything like that, it takes a lot. There's a lot of hours that are spent prior to what you see. So we ask that you listen attentively and even after the fact, make sure that you encourage those that have participated.
Right.
And at this time, I'm going to give it away to Sister Adriana.
Amen. We're gonna be brief today, y'all. We're not gonna take up too much of your time. No ski or nothing this year, unfortunately. But I'm just here for an introduction. So during Black History Month and every other month, we must take the time to honor the role and achievements of our African American heroes in the United States history. We all know about the groundbreaking activists like Martin Luther King, Rosa Parks, and Harriet Tubman from our history books. But there are many more unsung heroes worth celebrating, particularly Black women. These icons, many of which were overlooked at times and continue to be sidelined today, transformed our country. Today we rounded up just a few African American women whose tireless efforts changed everything and who never got the credit that they deserve. We're going to start with a poem by Nikki Giovanni, Black History poem that Mikaela is going to do.
If Black History Month is not viable when wind does not carry the seeds and drop them on fertile ground, rain does not dampen the land and encourage the seeds to root, sun does not warm the earth and kiss the seedlings and tell them plain, you're as good as anybody else, you got a place here too.
Jarrell? Jarrell is going to take the place of Jules. She's not here today, so he's just going to speak about Miss Maria Van Britton Brown.
Y'all see how she just sung?
Amen.
That's right. Alright, so I'll be reading Marie Van Britton Brown, okay? Alright, so Marie Britton Brown was the inventor of the first home security system. She is also credited with the invention of the first closed-circuit television. Brown was born in Queens, New York on October 22nd, 1922, and resided there until her death February 2nd, 1999, at the age of 76. Her father was born in Massachusetts, and her mother was born in Pennsylvania. The patent for the invention was filed in 1966 and has later influenced modern home security systems that are still used today. Brown's invention was inspired by the security risks that her home faced and the neighborhood where she lived. Marie Brown worked as a nurse, and her husband, Albert Brown, worked as an electronics technician. Their work hours were not standard 9 to 5, and the crime rate in Queens, New York City neighborhood was very high. Even when the police were contacted in the event of emergency, the response time tended to be slow. As a result, Brown looked for many ways to increase the level of personal security. She needed to create a system that would allow her to know who was at her home and contact Birmingham authorities as quickly as possible. Brown's security system was the basis for the two-way communication and surveillance features of modern security. Her original invention was compromised for peepholes, a camera, monitors, and two-way microphones. The final element was an alarm button that could be pressed to contact the police immediately. 3 peepholes were placed at the front of the door at a different height level. The top of the one was for tall people, the bottom was for children, and middle was for anybody that was around the average height. At the opposite side of the door, a camera was attached with the ability to slide up and down to allow the person to see through the peephole. The camera picked up images that would reflect the monitor via a wireless system. The monitor could be placed at any part of the house and allow you to see who was on the side of the door. This was also a voice component to enable Brown to speak to the person outside. If this person was perceived to be an intruder, the police would be notified at the person's light. If this person was welcome or expected visitor, the door would be unlocked via remote control. Rhea Albert Brown filed the patent on August 1st, 1966, under the title Home Security System, utilizing television and surveillance. The application was approved on December 2nd, 1969. Brown's invention gained her well-deserved recognition, including an award of National Scientist Committee. No one for the award can be identified. And in the interview with the New York Times on December 6, 1969, Brown's invention laid the foundation for later security systems that make use of its features, such as video monitoring, remote control door locks, push-button alarm triggers, instant messaging to security providers and police, as well as two-way voice communication. Her invention is still used by small businesses, small offices, single-family homes, multi-unit dwellings such as apartments and condominiums. The Brown's patent was later referenced by 13 other inventors, including some of the recently used in 2013. Brown was the mother of 2 children, one of whom, Norma Brown, went on to become a nurse and an inventor.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
I'm here to read for Black History Constance Baker Motley. Constance Baker Motley was born September 14, 1921, in New Haven, Connecticut. She was the 9th child in a family of 12 children. Her parents were immigrants from the island of Nevis in the West Indies. Motley grew up attending New Haven's integrated public schools and soon became an avid reader. She was inspired by books concerning civil rights heroes, and by the age of 15, she had decided to become a lawyer. Due to her family's economic situation, she could not afford to attend college immediately after graduation from school. Instead, she took up a job as a maid for a short time before finding a job with the National Youth Administration. Giving a speech at the local community center one night with the wealthy white contractor Clarence Blakely was so impressed that he offered to pay for her to attend college. Motley began her college career at Fisk University, Nashville, Tennessee in 1941. In 1943, she transferred to New York University where she received her bachelor's degree in economics. In 1944, she became the first Black woman to be accepted into Columbia's law school, where she met Thurgood Marshall, chief counsel for the NAACP Legal Defense Fund. Motley worked for the Legal Defense Fund while obtaining her degree which she received in 1946. In the same year, she married a real estate broker, Joel Wilson Motley Jr. Their marriage would eventually produce a son, Joel Wilson Motley III. During her career with the NAACP, Motley was involved with many high-profile cases. She played a major role in the legal preparation for the 1954 Brown versus the Board of Education case and was the first Black woman to argue a case before the United States Supreme Court. She was also lead counsel in the case to allow James Mitters to gain admissions to the University of Mississippi in 1962. Besides fighting for the rights of Blacks to get into segregated schools, Motley also defended protesters arrested during the federal riot of the early 1960s. She won 9 out of 10 cases argued before the Supreme Court between 1961 and 1963. In 1964, Motley entered politics. She was the first woman to be elected into the New York State Senate in 1964, and in 1965 became the first woman to hold the position of Manhattan's borough president. President Lyndon B. Johnson appointed Motley to the United States District Court in 1966, making her the first African-American woman to hold a federal judgeship. Judge Constance Baker Motley died of congestive heart failure on September 28, 2005, at the age of 84. Over the course of her long career in law and politics, she received over 70 awards and 8 honorary degrees from universities.
So I'm up here to present Lucy Stuyvesant Day. Educator and abolitionist, Lucy Stuyvesant Day Sessions is believed to be the first African American woman to graduate from college, completing a ladies' literary course from Oberlin College in 1850. For over a century, the Ohio College had recognized its early literature course program as equivalent to a degree program, even though it did not award graduates with a bachelor's degree. In 1862, Oberlin College formally awarded the first bachelor's degree to an African-American woman when Mary Jane Patterson graduated with a BA. Lucy Stuyvesant was born as a free inhabitant of Cleveland, Ohio on October 16, 1831. Her father, Samuel, was a free-born black barber who died before Lucy was 2 years old. Her mother, Margaret, later remarried John Brown, a wealthy black businessman and abolitionist.
Abolitionist.
An abolitionist who was active in the Underground Railroad. The family often harbored runaway slaves in their home, and at the time, blacks were not allowed to attend public schools in Cleveland. So Brown organized the city's first school for African Americans. In 1846, Stuyvesant enrolled in Oberlin Collegiate Institute, now Oberlin College, a progressive abolitionist institution. In 1849, she was elected president of the school's Ladies' Literary Society, and her commencement speech was a moving appeal for anti-slavery. Upon graduation in 1850, she moved to Columbus, Ohio, to become principal of the school, but 2 years later returned to Cleveland when she married Oberlin classmate William Howard Henry, a librarian who edited an abolitionist newspaper, The Alienated American. In 1854, she became the first African American to have a fictional story published, when she wrote a short story on slavery for her husband's newspaper. 2 years later, the couple moved to Buxton, Canada, to teach fugitive slaves in 1858. Had a daughter, Lawrence. However, the following year, William Day left on business for England, abandoning his family and requesting a divorce. Lucy returned to Cleveland, finding work as a seamstress to support her daughter, but remained active an abolitionist. Remained as an abolitionist. In 1866, she was sponsored by the Cleveland Freedmen's Association to teach in Georgia and later Mississippi, where she met and married her second husband, Levi Sessions, in 1878. The couple moved to Tennessee, where Lucy Sessions continued her philanthropic work, including serving as president of the local women's Christian temperance community. She and her husband later moved to Los Angeles, California. Lucy Staton Day Sessions died in Los Angeles in 1910. Family, how y'all doing today?
Good.
Ariana, she thinks she's slick. She gave me somebody who's in the medical field because she knows I'm in the medical field. Amen? Amen. So I will be talking about Miss Rebecca Lee Crumpler. Rebecca Lee Crumpler challenged the prejudice that prevented African Americans from pursuing from pursuing careers in medicine, and became the first African American woman in the United States to earn an MD degree, a distinction formerly credited to Rebecca Cole. Although little has survived to tell the story of Crumpler's life, she has secured her place in the historical record with her book of medical advice for women and children, published in 1883. Crumpler was born in 1831 in Delaware to Absalom Davis and Matilda Weber, an aunt in Pennsylvania who spent much of her time caring for sick neighbors and may have influenced her career choice. She raised her basically. By 1852, she had moved to Charleston, Massachusetts, where she worked as a nurse for 8 years, because the first formal school for nursing only opened in 1873, she was able to perform such work without any formal training. She was done it now. In 1860, she was admitted to the New England Female Medical College. She graduated in 1864. Crumpler was the first African American woman in the United States to earn an MD degree and the only African American woman to graduate from the New England Female Medical College, which merged with Boston University School of Medicine in 1873. In her book of medical discourses, published in 1883, she gives a brief summary of her career path. It may be well to state here that having been reared by a kind aunt in Pennsylvania, whose usefulness, with the sick and continually sought, I early conceived a liking for and sought every opportunity to relieve the suffering of others. Later in life, I devoted my time, when best I could, to nursing as a business, serving under different doctors for a period of 8 years, from 1852 to 1860. Most of the time at my adopted home in Charleston, Middlesex County, Massachusetts. From these doctors, I received letters commending me to the faculty of New England Female Medical College. Hence, 4 years afterward, I received a degree of doctorate in medicine. Dr. Crumpler practiced in Boston for a short while before moving to Richmond, Virginia, after the Civil War ended in 1865. Richmond, she felt, would be a proper field for real missionary work, and one that would present ample opportunities to become acquainted with the disease of women and children. During my stay there, nearly every hour was improved in that sphere of labor. Last quarter of the year, 1866, I was enabled to have access each day to a very large number of the indigent, and others
of different classes and in a population of over 30,000 colored. She joined other black physicians caring for freed slaves who would otherwise have had no access to medical care, working with the Freedmen's Bureau in missionary and community groups, even though black physicians experienced intense racism working in the post-war South. At a close of my services in that city, she explained, I returned to my former home, Boston, where I entered into the work with renewed vigor, practicing outside and receiving children in the house for treatment, regardless of the measure of remuneration. Sorry about that. She lived on Joy Street on Beacon Hill, then a mostly black neighborhood. And by 1880, she had moved to Hyde Park, Massachusetts, and was no longer in active practice. Her 1883 book is based on the journal notes she kept during the years of her medical practice. No photos or other images survive Dr. Crampler. The little we know about her comes from the introduction of her book, a remarkable mark of her achievements as a physician and a medical writer in time when very few African Americans were able to gain admission to medical college, let alone publish. Her book is one of the very first medical publications by an African American. Thank you.
Good afternoon, family.
Good afternoon.
I'm coming to you and I'm going to recite a couple of poems, very, very short, brief poems this morning. The first one being by poet Gwendolyn Brooks, and it's called I Am Black. According to my teachers, I am now an African American. They call me out of my name. Black is an open umbrella. I am a black and a black forever. I am one of the blacks. We are here and we are there. We occur in Brazil, in Nigeria, in Ghana, in Botswana, Tanzania, in Kenya, in Russia, Australia, in Haiti, Soweto, in Grenada, in Cuba, in Panama, in Libya, in England, in Italy, in France. We are in any places. I am black and a black forever. I am other than hyphenation. I say proudly, my people. I say proudly, our people. Our people do not disdain to eat yams or melons or grits, or to put peanut butter in stew. I am Kojo. In West Africa, Kojo means unconquerable. My parents named me the 7th day from my birth in black spirit, black faith, black communion. I am Kojo. I am black. And I capitalize my name. Do not call me out of my name. And then next, one of my favorite poets personally is Langston Hughes. And this is called I Too. I too sing America. I am the darker brother. They send me to eat in the kitchen when company comes. But I laugh and I eat well. and I grow strong, tomorrow I'll be at the table when company comes. Nobody'll dare say to me, eat in the kitchen. Then, besides, they'll see how beautiful I am and be ashamed. I, too, am America. Thank you, and we will have David McKinney to deliver our closing remarks.
Give a round of applause for everybody. Wonderful job by everyone. Thank you to my wife, Sister Adriana, for directing everything, getting everything set up. Wonderful job by everyone. We know a lot about Black history, about the struggles of Black people in America. The injustices, and just some tragic tales, but it's good to hear notes of light, different things that will help influence the youth. We learned about an inventor, a lawyer, a teacher, and a doctor. And too many times in our society, we praise or idolize people who are in entertainment or athletics, and they don't really cause any type of effects on our people. So it's good that we actually give flowers to those who actually are trying to help move our people forward. Not just in entertainment, but in ways that, like I said, that really need to be praised. Doctors save lives. Lawyers get people out of jail. Inventors create things that we use that makes our life easier or safer. And teachers are the ones that are with us every day, giving us the knowledge that we need. God says for us to seek knowledge and wisdom. And these people that we have talked about today are definitely what that example is of seeking knowledge and going out and trying to make a change for the world. And again, just want to say thank you. This was wonderful, and I hope that you all enjoyed it.
All right, consider yourself dismissed.